regular meeting of the Seminole Airport Authority. Roll call, please, Jay.
Eddie Foreman,
Here.
Trace Connor,
Here.
Dana Miller,
Here.
Chris Hansen,
Here.
John Kramer, Larry Church,
Here.
Corey Crabtree,
Here.
Tim Poplin, Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Eddie Foreman,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With no items removed from the consent agenda and no appearances or petitions from the audience, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Move on to the regular meeting of the Seminole Gas Authority. Roll call, please.
John Kramer, Chris Hansen,
Here.
Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Dana Miller,
Here.
Tim Poplin, Larry Church,
Here.
Trace Connor.
Here.
Eddie Foreman.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With no items removed from the consent agenda and no appearances or petitions from the audience, again, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So, second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Move on to the regular meeting of the Seminole Municipal Authority. Roll call, please.
Dana Miller,
Here.
Eddie Foreman,
Here.
Tim Poplin, Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Larry Church,
Here.
Chris Hansen,
Here.
John Kramer, Trace Connor.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Dana Miller,
Here.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Eddie Foreman,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Trace Connor,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With, again, no items removed from the consent agenda, and there's no appearances or petitions from the audience, we'll move on to current business. Consideration and possible action to approve the estimate of funds needed totaling $1,043,922.40 for work completed by Crossland Heavy Contractors, Inc. from November 21st through December 19th, 2024, under contract number WWTP 24010 SP, application number 4-REV number 2.
Man, that's a lot of money per month.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Eddie Foreman,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Trace Connor,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Consideration and possible action to approve the estimate of funds needed totaling $24,448.80 for work completed by Wall Engineering through January 15, 2025, under contract number WWTP 24010 SP, invoice number 13.
Question on this.
Okay.
Are we gonna get these, like, the engineering ones all through this as well?
Yes.
So it's not just one at the beginning and then we're done?
No.
Because they're doing inspection along the
Right.
way.
Oh, they're doing, okay, they're doing, okay, I got you. Okay. I'm good. You already had a motion. I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Eddie
I'm sorry.
Foreman,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 3, consideration and possible action to approve the mutual aid agreement for Sooner Warren for participating in an interstate program for mutual aid and assistance.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Dana Miller,
Yes.
Eddie Foreman,
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Dana, we need to take a second, kind of let you get caught up. This isn't here. Okay,
I think I'm good now.
I'll start answering like you are. It's all right.
All right, we'll move on to the Seminole City Council meeting. Roll call, please.
Trace Connor.
Here.
Dana Miller.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Tim Poplin. Chris Anson.
Here.
Eddie Foreman.
Here.
John Kramer. Corey Crabtree.
Here.
Jeff Griffin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your head and pray. God, whose mercies cannot be numbered, accept our prayer of thanks for our city of Seminole and for all our people. Let us love one another for you, God, our love. Amen. That was in honor of Bill Wonka. I couldn't say it, the other part.
I could say a few words.
English is about it.
Sounds right.
All right. We'll move on to consideration and action of consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Motion passes.
With no items removed from the consent agenda and no appearances or petitions from the audience, we'll move on to approvals and acceptances. Steve, do we need to just go in our normal order?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
All right, we'll move on to bids. Item 1, consideration and possible action to approve the bid of $23,260 plus annual maintenance of $1,500 from American Legal Publishing, LLC, for recodification of the city's ordinance. The recodification cost is a non-budgeted item, but it is required every 10 years.
Well,
Can't do anything
that
about
says it. Move
Gotta
to
have it.
approve
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 2, consideration and possible action to approve the state bid price of $55,439 from Vance Fleet Services for a 2025 Ford F-350 cab and chassis for the fire department to be funded by an Oklahoma Department of Agriculture Food and Forestry Equipment Replacement Grant.
Mr. Mayor, I would quickly tell you that we've had a retraction of this grant from the Forestry Department, and we're going to be reapplying for it under new terms. I don't know if politics got in the way or something happened, but they've drawn back all the grant money for the forestry and reissuing the applications. So at this time, I just ask that you take no action on this item.
So under item 2, we will take no action. And we don't need do we need a vote on that? No? Okay. Move on to item 3. Consideration and possible action to approve the bid of $6,191 from Bound Tree for 3 training mannequins for Seminole Emergency Medical Services, a budgeted capital improvement project item.
Move approval.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, item 4, consideration and possible action regarding the operations of the Jimmy Austin Golf Course and acknowledging MM&H Property Management LLC's contributions to the city of Seminole. The current operation contract ends June 30th, 2025. MM&H has given notice that they will not seek an extension to operate the golf course.
I have a question, Mayor.
Please.
Steve, so what happens when a lease is, when it's done? I know that we've kind of talked about how we were looking at like the bid process and proposals and kind of getting it started. So now I'm curious about how when it ends. And so this is good timing. So do we get some type of like exit report, some type of any kind of report or something that tells us kind of the state that the golf course is going to be in? Maybe something that's going to help us improve, going back full circle to the how we award it and kind of what are the barriers or just anything, any type of review or report.
So the direct answer to your question is no, they're not required to give us data. However, we keep pretty close tabs on what is happening and how it's happening, why. We pretty much already know the facts that are surrounding the golf course. Obviously, when we're asking the council for expenditures, we already have to know those answers before we come to you guys to ask for dollars. In terms of rounds per year, I think we're probably around 10,000 rounds per year that are played. The greens, as you know, are in excellent shape. And the groundskeeper has done a superior job, in my opinion, as well as the Jimmy Austin Golf Association that kind of has rallied around that greenskeeper to do some pretty special things, especially in terms of cleanup after the tornado and the damage that was done to the course. I think in terms of what needs to be improved, it seems like a few years ago, but it's been longer than that, that we redid the sprinkler system. And it's starting to show some age. We'll probably, the contractor or the system that runs that sprinkler system was named Rainbird. Rainbird, the motherboard, et cetera, probably is nearing the end of its useful life, the computerized system. We've replaced a lot of the sprinkler heads or provided them to be replaced, but in the fairways, there's probably, I'm going to say between $9,000 and $10,000 of sprinkler heads that need to be replaced. But the golf course is in excellent. They're leaving it in excellent. Well, other than the trees that were removed by the tornado, I will tell you that, in my opinion, they're leaving it in excellent condition.
So one of the things that you mentioned, so an important part is the golf association that we have. Is there anything that we need to be thinking about including that group in anything that would go in with the contract? That they have to work with them, or they need to, because we know in the past we've had some bad results, unfortunately, and you don't know until sometimes it's too late. But should they be forced to either listen to suggestions, not necessarily take actions, or work with the group, or somehow allow them to operate like they've been operating? I mean, I would just want to make sure that they're covered because they've been a big asset to the golf course. And I'd hate to see that kind of break up and we lose, one, the youth that are out there working this. It'll be the future of our city, and even the old people that are out working to help make it better. But I mean, I'd really hate to see that break apart or just not work well. So I think some way we need to maybe protect them in whatever we do.
And you're talking specifically about MM&H protecting?
No, whoever we get in the future
Okay,
in a contract, somehow, I think our golf association needs to be protected, or that they have to, I'm not sure of the interaction that MM&H and the group had, but they need to be able to be allowed to operate out there and do some of the things that they've done, continue that, and work with the group. I think they could come in and say, we don't want you guys doing anything, we don't want any suggestions, and then you kind of lose that connection of those guys that want to put in time,
okay.
that want to make it better. It's just a thought, how can we kind of protect a group that's had big input
Yeah.
on
I think to a large degree, we've addressed that in the request for proposals
Okay.
and the criteria that we're expecting to see back from the respondents. That should be handled in some of the narrative, and if not, it'll be handled in the oral interviews.
it. Okay. I just hate to, see that dropped, and, sometimes when things change hands,
Mm-hmm.
it makes a difference. Okay.
I have another question.
Sure.
So, Steve, is there, this will be something when we're looking for the new, or putting out the request for proposals for the new lease to go out. I would like to see more, like you said, data. Anecdotal stuff is great, but I also think it will help us to kind of measure where we started and where we ended with a certain lease. And then that will help, I think, the new ones coming in can see what the potential is to, for profit, or, what to look for when they're managing it. So I think that would help if we can keep that in mind for next time, when this is coming back up. So, and then I guess my next question, or my next comment is, I don't know if I've ever, and I probably have, so this might be a time for education, but does the council ever see data on any of these leases? Because I know we're about to go into a big one with the management of the Family Fun Center, and that's going to be exciting to see, like, how much they're making and how much of the city's property is contributing to the individual or to the company that we lease it to. Does that make any sense? So we can kind of see how they're doing, maybe what we need to do to help them, or, because I hear sometimes that, people are losing money, or they're using their own personal time to take care of these leases, and if there's anything like gaps that we can fill, I don't feel like I know enough, unless we do get reports and I'm just not seeing it. Is that typical? Help me
I
out.
think it's because it's their own entity. It's not they're leasing our facility for a price, or we're paying them to do it, whatever. But that's proprietary information to that company. It's not a city-owned entity, has always been my understanding. So it's like asking me, how much money does your insurance company make because you do business in Seminole? Or how much would your company make drilling a well? I don't know, whatever it may be. But I think that in my eyes, that's how it's been perceived, is that those are individually owned companies, not city-owned. The only thing we're concerned about is that they're operating and they're open and they're using our golf course and that people can play on it. I think that's the way I've always taken that. I don't know if historically, we don't, it's like prying into somebody's personal information. I just don't think that to me, I don't think that you would want to know, as long as they're open and operating,
Do they
Yeah.
pay taxes?
Yeah, I don't
Sales
think
tax
it's
and
anybody,
stuff?
I don't care how much money they make or don't make. I mean, as long as the golf course is open and operating, it's being taken care of. I think that's
How do you know it's being taken care of? I guess that's my question is, we get anecdotal information every now and then when we ask for it, but how do we know it's being taken care of? How do we know our citizens are being served by the city leasing it to someone else, as opposed to maybe the city doing it ourselves?
yeah.
I think that's why I was asking that the association be part, because we will get feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think it's important that they
are
have a
included.
role to play because we'll get feedback if it's not.
Yeah.
You and I don't go to the
Yeah.
golf course.
I've never played a game of golf in my entire life, so
I don't
I don't
think-
know, I don't have a,
Yeah.
other than being on the council and representing my constituents, I don't care. But I do care because that is that's city property, and I do care if it's being utilized correctly and in a way that serves our community. Just because of the seat I'm sitting, I don't play golf. I don't even know anything
I
about
think
golf.
the care in the facility and that they're opening and providing a service is important to me, and that they're taking care of my property. But how much beer they sell, how many people played around the golf today, I don't know that I want to know all that. I mean, I don't. As long as they're profitable and they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they're taking care of our facility is probably what we need to know.
Do we get tax revenue off of it?
Yes.
So we get some gross receipts information.
Do we still
But
have
do you
the
see
golf
them?
advisory
No,
board? or-
but we
No.
They're all dead. Or, I say they're all dead. I'm sorry, to
Several
interrupt.
probably have passed away.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
So
I think-
Better.
But I
we-
think, again, that's the golf association, 'cause those guys are out there in some form, someone's out there almost every day
Maybe we consider
with that.
re-engaging that advisory board and maybe put some of those people on it.
That's kind of the way that we started the association, is because the advisory board was established and they did a great job, and so has MH&M over the 19 years that they ran the course. There have been a significant amount of improvements out there. A lot of the golfers at one point were getting ready to move on because we had bent grass greens, which are more of a northern climate grass. And then when we had the tornado, we had a little bit of silver lining when we were able to allocate some money to reinvest in the Bermuda greens, which is this climate is a lot easier to take care of. You don't have to be, you don't have to have a huge amount of staff to basically manage it. And the staff that we have out there, as far as our greenskeepers, we have a superintendent and we have some others with the other type of grass that was grown there. You had to have a lot of knowledge. And the chemicals and some of the, let's say, the country clubs, they were hoarding or they were buying up the big grass seed, and it made it more expensive for us to maintain that type of stuff. And it got to the point where a lot of the people that I play with, they were looking for other places to play because the greens were not sustainable in the heat. Bermuda grass loves the heat, and that's what we went to, and it has really changed. I mean, the whole group, we're getting out of town people. I've heard that over at Fire Lake now, used to, if you want to have a tournament, they would kind of base it upon how many people you got. Now it's $6,000 flat. It don't matter. And if you got 60 people, that's $100 a person. You're going to break even. So they're going to have to charge more if you're going to have a fundraising effort for whatever you're going to do. You're going to have to charge $200 a person if you're going to provide food or any other type of stuff. And there's only so many $200 people that play golf. I mean, if you got 10 tournaments at $200 a piece, you're going to have some deep pockets. So the Golf Association, what we had done is we set up basically association. We have a membership. We have almost 100 members. Our fees are $100, and then we're going to have scrambles or other types of events. But for $100, you can be part of the association, and you can participate in up to 6 or 8 events a year, as opposed to one event at $100. So we've really changed the dynamics as far as the excitement for people to go out there and play and have fellowship and entertainment and stuff. So
How many people are in
So
the
you're-
association?
I think we had, originally it was like 80-something, and I think we have over 100. Now, I'm not sure on the exact numbers. We, 1st of January, or the end of January, I think, was whenever we had our membership dues. And I haven't, I don't know that number.
Can you tell me really quickly the association, so this I'm learning. So the association's relationship to, like today, to M&H Property Management? There isn't?
We have no ties to them or in any way, shape, or form. I think what had happened over the years, like I said, they've done a great job, and they're required to present at least, 3 tournaments a year, Boom Days
Right.
and 2 others. We kind of saw as a group that it was just kind of fading a little bit, and we wanted to reinvigorate that. So that's how we started. We were doing a Thursday night scramble, and it just kind of developed into, and then, like I say, the tornado was a silver lining, honestly, to really save the course. And the council here, when we reallocated the money to redo the greens, I mean, it was a godsend. It honestly was. So I think going forward, the people that are involved now are all, we have, like I say, we've got blood, sweat, and tears out there. So
Mhm.
it's, I don't see it getting any worse. I only see it going to the next level. And then, like I said, with other courses costing more money, I think we're going to see a lot more rounds. Normally, on a Sunday, you could just go out there anytime. You didn't have to have a tee time. Now there's tee times. You've got to have your stuff organized. I mean, you can't just go out there now and expect to play. You're going to have to call. And I think that's where we've come from kind of a point where there was a lack of interest to where now there's so much interest that the guys that always kind of felt like, oh, we can go here and play anytime. Now we're like, oh my gosh, we got to set a tee time. We got to plan before we go do these things. But
Golf courses are not money makers, they are attractions. I mean, and especially if you don't have anything like a grill or a country club to go with it, you can't make a lot of money. And for history's perspective, when this group came, they actually formed this group, I believe, specifically to run the golf course, and
Yes.
they kind of bailed us out because the course had gotten in such bad shape 20 years ago. We were about to lose all the greens. They were all burned up, even after installing the new sprinkler system. And we just didn't have anybody to run it and didn't know what we were going to do. And this group, they put this group together and they came in. They were, I mean, I'm sure 20 more years ago, those people were all more active with golf themselves. And they kind of came in and saved the day. They brought in new equipment, new people. They brought in the people to do it, the experts to get it back into shape. And they really helped save the golf course, back then.
So when you say they, you mean the
Yes,
management
the
group?
company now, yes.
Okay, okay.
They're all,
So,
it's a group of 3 that are from the city. They're all-
Okay.
they're all-
Okay.
I think too, it's kind of a phase. I'm sitting here looking at 20 years ago they started, and I'm sure at that time they had young kids, and now they're retiring and they want to spend other time. And all my kids are out of the house now. I don't have softball to go to. I don't have baseball to go to. I don't have soccer practice. I don't have those things that I enjoyed to do with my kids. So now we're moving to play golf. We used to have the Elks Lodge, which we had. We could go out there and have fellowship and be around one another. And we just don't have anything to go to. And to me, this is what it's kind of a transition, if you will. Instead of going to the Elks Lodge that we lost, now we're going to the golf course. And I think that we don't want to be left in a lurch and trying to find somebody before, I mean, their contract ends in June, so this is February, so March, April, May, we need to have somebody in line that we can depend on, and I think the group that's out there now is definitely dependable. I mean, they're there day in and day out. And the superintendent now has a property that he's building a house on, and he's told me multiple times that this has been his dream job. This is his Yankees, if you will, job, and he wants to take it to the next level, and I see no reason not to let him do it with whatever group he puts together. And the association, of course, will always be there to, participate and help do things if we need to. So.
It'd be so much more fun if they had a driving range.
Yeah. We have one, but it's just not
Yeah, I know.
ours,
I know.
if you will.
So you're on the association, so technically,
Yes.
we've got some council representation on there, if you will. That helps. So,
But not officially though, right? It just happens
No,
to be that
and
way.
I
yeah,
don't-
he was just on, yeah.
I think it's more, like you say, an advisory board. They don't have to listen, whoever takes over, which I hope we give it to the group that I believe will do a great job. They've already done some other things without giving it away here in Seminole, and they're young. They've got a lot of vigor. They have young kids. They want to get more youth involved. And I think we're in a good place. Our course has grown. We've got a lot more people, like I say, interested. And it's, compared to where it was when I first moved over there, it has changed significantly. And of course, the city has played a major role in that too, with the decisions were made with this council. So I'm excited.
And the number of balls that could hit your yard changed.
I do have a window right now that needs to be replaced, but
So that hadn't changed.
that has not changed. There's still some snake beaters that are out there, and we welcome them as well. Everybody needs to get better, so, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah, I think that's just what I'm asking is, I mean, not just from this one, but from the future. I would love to, even if it's not, I mean, I don't want to know anybody's business practices. I would just like, because at the end of the day, it's still our lease. It's still our, and I say our, it's our constituents, right? And at some level, we do need to be accountable and knowledgeable. So I would like to, all of the people who, or the companies who lease things from us, provide, just come and tell us, like, hey, everything's going great, or everything's going horrible, and we
Right.
need help with this. Or if we get a constituent reaches out and says, man, the golf course is, doing terrible, or the golf course is doing great, we need to be able to respond, I think, in a certain way. And the only way we can do that is information. So I would love to see, even if it's just a report through a council member or something would be helpful.
I'd be happy to do that. I think that, people oftentimes don't know how to get that voice out or
Yeah.
whatever. They don't know to come to the council. They don't know
Yeah.
the inner workings. I mean, I didn't until I was here on the council. It's enlightening how it's very difficult, I'm sure, to run a city. I can't imagine some of the decisions the staff has to make. But just, being a part of the golf course like I said, I don't have anything else left to do.
I'm here, I'm the same way.
We will
So-
be
Interesting
asking
is
for
me.
some general, not into how much profit did you make this month, but more general, how many rounds
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
played per month. And you've got me rethinking Sharon's request to be off every Friday afternoon to play golf. That way we would have eyes on and be able to tell whether it's being kept up.
Miniature golf.
Can we vote on that?
You're more likely to play golf on Friday than Saturday or Sunday, because it is busy. I mean, from 8 o'clock.
Is she the one that requested the putt-putt at the
Yeah,
Family
yeah,
Entertainment Center?
yeah.
Got it. Makes
Yeah.
sense now.
It really did. I mean,
Good job, Sharon.
Never played
I'll
golf
come
in
play
my
with you.
life.
it's.
You want to start an
it's,
association?
of the Pride Life,
I guess.
Any other comments or
trying to quit.
there's no?
When will we get the new request out?
We're sending them out now. The response, Sharon, do you remember when the response is due? I can look it up real quick. Do you know when the? Let's just stand by. I'll get you an answer. Stand by.
So in February, that gives them March, April, May,
Yeah,
4 months. to-
yeah, if you've tried to buy some equipment, you know that it takes a minute to get it in. All right, so our plan is to have the proposals due by February 27. They've already been sent out to those that have shown an interest. So shortly after that, we'll put it on the agenda for the city council to make a selection. The staff, several of us will score individually how we feel like the proposals came in. And then we'll make a recommendation to the council, and you guys will choose who we will execute a lease with, or whether we try to go it alone. That's a little scary. Our guys are great at spraying medians and killing grass. They're not as good about growing grass, so, but we'll do whatever the council wishes.
Steve, you mentioned that the request was sent to individuals who are interested. So was it made public?
Oh, yes,
It was, okay,
absolutely.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
no action,
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
no action. All right. Moving on to item 5, consideration and possible action regarding committing to support the city of Atoka and the Atoka Energy Park in the development of a power generation facility which will bring enhanced capabilities and potential revenue to Seminole. With that, I'll turn it over to city manager.
Yeah, so I'll make this a short story, and then if you guys want to drill deeper, we certainly can. The city of Seminole has had a partnership with a lot of Oklahoma cities in the southeast quadrant. The organization that we formed 26 years ago, when I first got here, was named Oklahoma Southeast, and it's an economic development function that we bring in site locators from all over the world, really, but certainly the U.S., and we have various events for them. We can take them shooting clay pigeons one time, or we'll take them striper fishing or golfing at various times, and we entertain these site locators, and they are looking at us for, obviously, sites for industry to locate. So over the years, we've had a very good relationship with the city of Atoka, and for that matter, McAllister and Ardmore and the rest of us in the southeast quadrant, where, for example, if I've got a client or I've got a good lead, that lead needs a 50,000 square foot building, and it needs to have 25-foot ceilings and dock high bays, and they need it next month. Well, I don't have that, but I have the contacts with Atoka or McAllister, so we've got that kind of partnership where we're a phone call away, hey, what do you got? Or even a text thread. So where we're at with this project is the city of Atoka has found investors, and actually a huge investment group that is very interested in promoting data centers. So if you've been paying attention to places like Google or Amazon or others, they have tremendous data farms that are just massive and certainly consume ridiculous amounts of energy. And so this investment group that Atoka is working with is going to build on their own a power plant. And this power plant will roughly be about the same size as what the Kanawha power plant is. And they will not be attached to the grid, so it's not a supply power plant. This is specific to an industrial park that is going to be hosting data centers. And part of the requirement is that they have a sufficient population that is going to be served by the investments that are being made. And so what Atoka has done is they've reached out to us and they've said, hey, we want you to come alongside of us. There is no out-of-pocket money that we're requesting, but we need to be able to show that you're one of our partners to include your population to get to the threshold that the investment group is requiring. Ultimately, there is potential that we will be able to share in the profits of that generation system as a partner in it. We would share in the profits, having invested nothing. There's really anything, it would be a windfall, but that is a requirement of the investment group. So I just recommend that we go alongside. This is a non-binding agreement. I've run it through our city attorney. It's non-binding. There will be eventually what do they call it, municipal utility service agreement that would be more binding, but it would also provide for the profitability to be shared among those that signed up with them originally. So if you track what's going on with profitability and data farms and AI, there's no telling what we could be in line for with the profitability coming through. So I encourage us to at least execute the support letter that's in your packet. So
you're right. I mean, I know you get snippets on the news, but it's something I've been watching on some of the business sites, and I mean, we're just in the infancy.
Yeah.
And then also the energy, they're going to be using gas for something. There's two groups that have come together, and they're going to be using radio or radioactive, nuclear, mini nuclear power plants to power some of these, and it's just, I mean, we're going to see things that we wouldn't have thought of, because we're hurting in the country for electricity, good, solid electricity and lines. And they build these right next to a plant, to the data center. And so, yeah, I think it's a good deal to get in on, and, who knows what the future leads to. There may be some other opportunities for us down the road.
there you go.
Well, Atoka put on a good concert in 1973. I saw outdoor. So I move that we approve.
Roll call, please.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Dana Miller.
I'm sorry, what are we voting on?
If we want to form this alliance with,
But are
send
we
the letter.
voting on that we send the letter
Yeah.
that was submitted?
yeah,
Support.
Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. Yes.
Larry Church.
yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we'll move on to remarks and inquiries, and we'll just start from the opposite way and start with Trace Connor. I catch you off guard.
Kind of caught me off guard there. Just want to say thanks to MH&M for the 19 years they've done out there at the golf course. They've done a fabulous job. Hate to see them leave. Hopefully they'll still come back and play in Boom Days and some other tournaments that we hope to host in the future. Everybody be safe out there. I guess we got some cold weather coming in. You might want to drip your faucets here in the next couple of days or turn a little heater on or something. And just spay and neuter your pets. That's all I got.
Yeah. You beat me to it. Chris Hansen. You did have something. All right, move on to Ward 3, Corey Crabtree.
Good to see you here tonight.
Thank you.
By the way, we all miss you. We appreciate you coming back and being able to spend some time with us, so. I was thinking about the cold weather, but the road work, it's probably like everybody else thinks, it's quite annoying down Bell Phillips, but probably necessary and we'll appreciate it in the end, but right now it's still a little to put up with. But I've also heard a couple of comments about the guys downtown that it's, even though that's a big project, but I've heard that they've handled that pretty well. So you can pass that on to Bryant. That's a big chore to have to do that and put so many businesses in the line of fire, but I think they're doing pretty well. And we'll appreciate it when it's done for sure. So another thing about the golf course, I never played around in golf, never even probably swung a golf club probably 5 times and I was done after that. So, but I appreciate people like that because that's something I have no desire, no interest in, but you need people like that to keep it running. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you serving because, I mean, I didn't know that personally, but I'm glad that you're a voice, that you could answer a question for us maybe if we needed it too. So,
Try to bring more to the table.
but other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Ward 2, Eddie Foreman.
Well, I agree with Corey. I'm glad to see you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Really am. And I would say regardless of what happens today, election time, it's been a privilege to serve with this council. I hope I get to continue to serve, but I just want you all to know that I've really enjoyed my time here and hope I've been an asset at the time. Thank you.
Ward 1, Dana Melrose.
Welcome to Ward 1. Mayor, it's good to see you
Thank
again. So this weekend, I got to do a pet food drive. I literally had 2 days to throw it together, which is real easy to do. Given this community is amazing, and it's so fun to witness it firsthand. All we did was just set out a table and made a few homemade signs and asked for help. And by the end of the day, we had over 1,800 pounds of pet food and supplies and toys and blankets and all that to donate to the animal shelter. So I just want to say Mado to the city of Seminole's amazing community for their generosity. It's just amazing that all you have to do is just ask for help and you get 1,800 pounds of pet food in 6 hours. It's great. I do want to also say a special thank you to the animal control officers. They were there to help us load up the food and take it to the shelter. So that's, thank you to that team over there. They're doing a great job. Also continue to support downtown businesses. Everyone is still open. It's great to see all of the improvements. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mary Church.
Eddie, I hope to see you next month,
Okay.
and I hope to see you next month too,
Hope to
Mr.
be
Mayor.
here next month.
Yes, I do. And I want to thank y'all for letting me live in Seminole. I'm probably the only person that didn't vote for Trump, so. And you still put up with me. So thank y'all.
Is that it?
That's
Just making sure.
Yes, thank you.
Um,
There's always next month.
That's right. Well, I want to say the road work and on Mel Phillips, that's the most that I've had complaints on. It's,
I ran in a ditch.
Did you?
Yeah.
But it will be nice once it's done. It gets a lot of use. And just think if all that traffic was over on Warren Boulevard, we'd be paying to fix it. So, there's still some trucks that don't get it, but I know my GPS is updated and calls it a roundabout. And then there was one for the trucks that I called and got it changed where it says roundabouts now. But it's still up to the truck drivers to get their software updated. Yeah, Main Street, I've had comments on the workers, nothing but positive on the workers that are down doing that job. And yeah, it's quite the chore, but everybody will appreciate it when it's done. The ladies that go to the beauty shop will be thankful because they won't run the risk of slipping and falling. And so it'll be nice and well worth it. How about housing? I mean, you know, we've got housing going on in 2 locations. You know, I keep hearing that, well, you know, they're not going to sell those houses up across from the high school. I mean, there's just a few that aren't, you know, they don't have sod in some of the yards yet. And, but they're moving right along. And, in fact, I know a couple people that have moved in. Actually, one couple moved from, I think, Arizona here, and they love it up there, and they love the group that they dealt with when they were buying the house. They said it was awesome. They worked with them. They even helped get their interest rate reduced. And so they had some money left over after all the options, and they said, well, how would you like us to buy down your interest rate some? And they said, yes. So they had nothing but praise about them. So that's good feedback, I think, for us as well, because you're always going to hear negative stuff from people that may not even be involved. But that was, and the other people I know, they're real pleased with it. So that's nice. I just want to thank everybody for all the prayers and the cards and the thoughts. I'm going through what I'm going through, and you know, it really means a lot. And you know, I know I'd watch the council meeting at home sometimes. Sometimes I go to sleep. Nothing against you, Ken.
I'm not the only one doing it.
Same here.
When 7 o'clock hits,
Goes off over here, too.
that's usually when I hit I mean, I start just hitting the wall. But, you know, I've been feeling better about the last 10, 12 days. And so I'm thankful I was able to come to the meeting tonight. And I get more shots that drag me down on Friday, you know, Valentine's Day. But hopefully that'll be recovered when our next council meeting is. And I'll be able to attend it as well, because I've missed not being here. You know, I do during the day, you know, I talk to Steve some and do the things I can do for the Sharon and all the things they do. And I'm telling you, they go through so much paperwork, Sharon and the other ladies over. It is amazing, I'm telling you. And how many emails you get that you have to share. So Corey, be ready for that. And it's just amazing the amount of work they do. But for me, it's just all good. So I think the city's doing well. I appreciate everyone on the council and the thought you put into before the meeting and the questions you ask and you know, the input you have. It's just, you know, it means so much to the city to have a council that's willing to work together. We may not always agree, but we're willing to listen and not necessarily argue. You may disagree, but you talk through it, and again, you may end up not agreeing, but that's okay. You know, because you vote on how you think for what's best for the city, and that's what's important. And so I'll have more next month, but I'll leave it at that. So with that, I'll turn it over to our city manager, Steve Saxon.
Thank you, and it is wonderful to see you in that seat. That's good stuff. Just want to applaud the efforts of MM&H again. Those guys as Chris said so well, they kind of bailed us out when we needed them the most. And they stepped up, made a big investment in equipment and personnel, and thank goodness. They kind of really kept the jewel of the community in place. I also go out on Thursday nights, not because I'm qualified to play golf, but I enjoy the fellowship. We've got roughly, I'm sure we average around 60 people every Thursday night, and it's men and women, okay? So the age range of those 60 people is between, I'm going to say 16 and 83. Just all ages, and you get paired up with somebody you may not have known before, and by the end of a golf round, you're joking with them and cutting up, and it's just a really great bonding time for the citizens to get together, and what a cool little deal our golf course is. So just want to remind, we're going to have a little bit of ice, it sounds like, so everybody drive safe tonight and tomorrow. Congratulations to Shelley Pogue. She's our Citizen of the Year, very well deserving. I'm super proud of her. The dog food drive, thank you very much for all that you do, and that's a big deal to help support our shelter. I know they enjoyed not just the things that were donated, they just enjoyed the attention. I'm talking about the employees, that somebody cared enough to do that, so, and recognize that they work at it. Main Street, the improvements are on schedule. Our crews are just, I can't say enough about them. I mean, they're just awesome. Sharon was part of the email chain that I was receiving from a very disgruntled citizen about our workers that were doing a pathetic job and had the audacity of taking a lunch break in the center median in front of McDonald's. And it took me, 5 emails to finally get through that those are not our employees. Those are a contractor's employees, not the city's. And but our guys are actually down on Main Street. The ODOT contractors' employees are what is doing Milt Phillips, just for everybody's edification. We're expecting the construction on the Family Entertainment Center to begin in April. It's flu season. Be sure you're washing your hands. Use a little bit of sanitizer now and again. The good news that I've got to deliver tonight is that the latest report from ODOT is they will end up doing the intersection at Milt Phillips and Strother. So I think they reconsidered the fact that they didn't have enough money left over, and now it sounds like we're going to get it. So that one will be a definite inconvenience while it's happening, but man, we're going to be a lot happier when it's through. And Mayor, we got 4 housing developments going. So it's good, man. We are in tall cotton right now. It's wonderful. If you didn't know, the Planning Commission approved the new townhomes to be built across the street from the Wellness Center. How many units? 47? Do you know?
40.
How many? 43?
Yeah, you're right, 47.
47 townhomes will be built, not against the golf course, but near the south fence of the golf course. So that's the same builder that's doing the ones by the roundabout. If you spend 2 weeks and you don't drive by that, you better wait. It's going to be fully developed. I mean, they are moving so fast. Really impressed with that group, and super proud to see all that fun stuff happening. That's all I've got.
Thank you. City Attorney? I didn't even get his name out before you said nothing. Brad Carter. General Brad Carter. All right, with that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
We're adjourned.